So let's take a look at how the resale formula works. Resale formula. There are two steps used to calculate your share of market equity and the new sale price of the home. Step number one, a subsidy ratio is applied. The same ratio of purchase price to market price determined when you purchased your home is applied at the time of resale. When we first started selling our homes about 6 years ago, we were looking at discounts of about 25% below the fee simple appraised value. Appraisals were coming in lower then because property values were lower then. As the years have gone on, to keep the price affordable, we have had to increase the subsidy. The house that we currently have just put into escrow, another beautiful home in the Legends at Maui Lani, $330,000 price on us. That house just appraised for $530,000 fee simple. Our sale price is a 38% discount from fee simple. So we started out with doing 25% discounts, but now because appraised values are going up and up and up because the market's getting hot again, the inventory's short, prices are going up, a lot of all-cash buyers are driving the price up, we've had to discount it more because your ability to buy has not increased like the values. So in order to keep it affordable for low and moderate income families, we've had to increase the subsidy. So this subsidy, which is different for each house we do, will be taken into account if and when the homeowner chooses to sell. If they never sell, it's a moot point. But if they choose to sell, this is how it's done. Okay, step number two. The longer you have owned and lived in the home, the higher percentage of shared equity goes to you. When I was studying the model, when we were putting this together, the greatest risk for the organization in terms of losing affordability of a house would be in a short-term ownership in a rapidly appreciating market. That can cause for valuation problems in order to keep it affordable for the next homeowner. So we wanted to take all that into account. So step number two actually rewards longevity of ownership. The longer you own the home, the higher equity share you will get if you choose to sell the home. So let's look at some real figures on this. Let's say you purchased a home from Nahalio, Maui for a price of $300,000 and it's worth $400,000 fee simple appraisal. $300,000 divided by $400,000 is a ratio of 0.75. Subsidy ratio is 75%. In plain language, you're paying 75% of the value of the house. Your purchase price is $100,000 below market value. Let's say you sell your home in 10.5 years from now and the value has gone up to $500,000. This is an increase of $100,000. We've estimated values going up for this example, but there is no guarantee of that. Real estate is a cyclical business. But we have just weathered one of the greatest downturns I've ever experienced in my almost 40 years in the business. Let's hope we don't see that kind of extreme downturn again. Your share of the increase in value is computed as follows. Step number one, that $100,000 of equity gain is multiplied by 75%. So that turns into $75,000. That's the subsidy ratio being applied to the gain. Step number two, the $75,000 is then multiplied by 40%, is determined by the time of ownership. In 10.5 years, you're due a 40% equity share. It starts out at 25% for the first 5 years, and then it goes up a little each year until you get to 14 years, and then you're entitled to a 50% equity share from that point on. So that's how we reward longevity and try to reduce the volatility in the marketplace of rapidly appreciating prices and lack of affordability. So that has now the equity gain is at $30,000 after step one and step two have been applied. So the equity share range, as I just said, 25 to 50%. Nahale Maui or an income-qualified buyer may purchase your home for what you originally paid, $300,000, plus your share of appreciation of equity, $30,000, for a sale price of $330,000, plus transfer title costs, escrow costs, and all of that. This is how we will keep it affordable for the next family, and how it was kept affordable for family number 2, who's in that 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in the Legends at Maui Lani after our household number 1 sold it. Okay, so seller proceeds. So this is what's important. We've just gone through this formula, but let's look at actually how you can build equity in our model and what you would get if you did choose to sell in 10 years, 10 and a half years as this example. In this example, you would walk away from the sale with your original $15,000. This was computed at the 5% down payment for this example. So, you would have brought in a down payment of $15,000. Over the 10 and a half years, you created earned equity by paying down the principal balance of your loan, not the landlord's loan, of $58,431. That is the principal that you have paid over that period of time. So you get that back when you sell. And you get the $30,000 share of the equity, and for a total of $103,000, $431 in this example. So this family came into the ownership of one of our homes in the example with $15,000. 10 and a half years, even though it's shared equity, because they've also been paying down their loan, they now have $103,000 in down payment equity for the next house they want to go in. This is why 74% of the Burlington Community Land Trust homeowners were able to get up and into unrestricted market rate property. They now had the down payment necessary to keep their monthly loan payments affordable. Okay, so in our example, the loan was $285,000. The interest rate was 4.75. Fortunately, the rates are lower now. 30-year fixed mortgage, monthly payment of $1,486.69 a month. At this point, I've got to share with you an observation that I've been making now repeatedly for the last couple years. Rents are going crazy on this island. I mean, the greed factor that's setting in is appalling in some cases. When I look especially at those houses we have in the Legends at Maui Lani, our homeowners' average monthly cost ranges between $1,600 and $1,800, maybe $1,900 a month. But those houses are renting for $2,800 to $3,000 a month. And it's getting worse. Our homeowners are paying as much as $1,000 less per month to own the home as opposed to the rental right next door to them, what they would have to pay for rent. And once again, they're paying down their mortgage, not the landlord's mortgage. So, this gap is going to continue to spread, I'm afraid, because there is such a shortage of supply. Simple supply and demand. The demand for rentals is huge. The supply is manini. The prices are going up. Our homeowners don't have to worry about that any longer.